In Part 2 of Sarg-56 of the Yoga Vasistha, today we will discuss in detail topics such as the offering of actions to the Supreme, Brahma Arpana, and the principle of Jnana Yigni Dagda Karma, actions consumed by the fire of knowledge. We're stepping directly into the ancient, profoundly sacred dialogue between the great sage Maharishi Vashishtha and his royal disciple Sri Rama. I want you to just imagine for a second being seated in that royal assembly. The air is absolutely thick with anticipation as we decode the mechanics of the human mind, the deep illusion of the material world, and the ultimate path to moksha, or liberation.
Hooking us right into the heart of the matter is Sri Rama's brilliantly relatable core inquiry. He asks Maharishi Vasishtha, how can we live and act in this complex material world without becoming completely entangled by it? I mean, it's the ultimate paradox, isn't it? We all have duties, we all have daily actions we absolutely must perform. But how on earth do we do them without getting pulled into the stress, the ego, and the endless suffering? Sri Rama really wants to know the secret to maintaining vairagya, true detachment, while functioning right smack in the middle of Maya, the great illusion.
So, here is the agenda for today's explainer. First, the quest for knowledge. 2, the unskilled charioteer. 3, the skilled charioteer. 4, the fire of knowledge, and 5, ancient wisdom, modern science.
Let's dive right into Section 1, the quest for knowledge.
The context of Canto 56 highlights a truly universal human struggle. Sri Rama is literally on the verge of kingship, yet he's feeling totally overwhelmed by the fleeting, cyclical nature of the world. He's seeking to understand how to balance necessary worldly action with spiritual liberation, moksha. And here's the beautiful part. Maharishi Vasishtha doesn't tell him to just run away and hide in the forest. Instead, he imparts a teaching that transforms the very nature of how Rama acts. He's about to give Rama the exact mental architecture required to live in the world without being of it.
Moving right along to Section 2, the unskilled charioteer.
In verse 14, which you can find referenced in 18.3 footnote C, Maharishi Vasishtha imparts this teaching directly. Aja jantur anishwaro ratam iwaharyate indriyashwe maya garta shate. Let's break that down word by word in its IAST transliteration, because it is so incredibly descriptive. Aja means the ignorant person. Jantu is the living being. Anishwara means lacking mastery. Ratham Eva translates to like a chariot, and Ahriyate means is dragged. Then we have Indriya Shwe, by the horses of the senses, and finally Maya Garta Shwe, into the hundreds of ditches of material illusion. He's explaining that the ignorant person is exactly like this unskilled charioteer. Because this driver lacks knowledge and training, he is hopelessly dragged by the wild horses, representing our biological senses, straight into the ditch of material illusion. Without self-knowledge, it's not the mind driving the chariot, it's the horses.
Maharishi Vasishtha details the spiritual significance of verse 14 with just immense clarity. An unskilled charioteer is driven entirely by material desires. Because there's absolutely no grip on the reins of the mind, the senses just run wild, constantly seeking immediate gratification. And this tightly binds the individual to Maya, that tricky illusion telling us these temporary pleasures will somehow bring lasting happiness. The philosophical interpretation here is profound. A total lack of self-knowledge directly results in constant mental agitation and karmic suffering. In this state, you aren't driving your life. Your impulses are literally driving you.
Which perfectly sets up Section 3, the skilled charioteer.
This brings us to the ultimate solution in verse 15, referenced in 18.4 footnote C. Maharishi Vasishtha declares to Rama, Jnani tu kushalasara theryava mana pragraham dritva viharati anupaliptaha. Breaking this one down word by word, Jnani means the enlightened person. Tu means but. Kushalasara theryava is like a skilled charioteer. Then, mana pragraham dritva, firmly holding the reins of the mind. Viharati means navigates the world, and anupaliptaha means remaining perfectly untouched. Vashishtha explains this totally literally to Rama. True enlightenment doesn't mean you stop the chariot, get out, and just refuse to act. No way. It means you grab the reins. You master those horses. You perform your duties in the world, but your core remains completely detached and perfectly untouched by the chaos around you.
The contrast between verse 14 and verse 15 is just absolute night and day. The unskilled charioteer is essentially a victim, dragged around, bound up, and totally ignorant of their true nature.
The skilled charioteer, on the other hand, is a master. They are controlling the reins, liberated in moksha, fully detached, yet completely active. Vashishtha is assuring Rama right here that action itself is not the enemy. The real enemy is ignorant action. When your mind is anchored in the self, the world actually becomes a playground rather than a prison.
Up next is Section 4, the Fire of Knowledge.
To pull this off, we have to understand two massive Sanskrit terms. The first is Brahmarpana. Brahmarpana is the practice of offering all actions and their fruits directly to the Supreme, or Brahman. Vashishtha explains to Rama that when we act with ego, thinking I am doing this purely for my own benefit, we create sticky karmic bonds. But by shifting the purpose of the action entirely away from the ego and treating the action itself as a divine offering, we are instantly liberated from its binding effects. You still do the work and you do it excellently, but you let go of the ego's greedy claim to the outcome.
The second huge term here is jnana nivdagagda karma. It translates to actions that are completely consumed and purified by the fire of knowledge. And remember, Maharishi Vasistha hasn't watered down or altered these meanings to suit modern comforts. This is the raw, original, unfiltered teaching. He explains that self-knowledge acts as a blazing, purifying fire. When you truly realize your authentic nature is entirely separate from the physical body and the fluctuating mind, that awareness acts like a roaring fire. It instantly burns away the karmic residue of your daily material actions. The action still happens, for sure, but it leaves absolutely no trace on your soul.
So what's the logical progression here? It is a brilliant four-step process. Step 1, cultivate self-knowledge. Realize who you truly are at your core. Step 2, detach from outcomes. Practice that vairagya. Step 3, offer your actions to the Supreme. That's Brahmarpana. And Step 4, achieve liberation while acting. This is the ultimate reassurance for Sri Rama and honestly, for all of us. You can achieve moksha without ever having to abandon your duties in the material world. You just have to change your internal operating system.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, Ancient Wisdom, Modern Science.
It's incredibly fascinating how contemporary science completely supports what Vashishtha taught thousands of years ago. The timeless relevance of Canto 5-6 is just so clear. The skilled charioteer controlling the mind, that maps perfectly onto what neuroscientists today call executive function and metacognition, which is the brain's ability to observe and regulate its own impulses. Vairagya, or detachment, is literally the foundational mechanism behind cognitive behavioral therapy, where patients learn to observe their thoughts without immediately reacting to them emotionally. And being absorbed in the Supreme through Brahmasharpana closely mirrors what optimal psychology calls flow state, a state where the ego completely vanishes and you are purely immersed in the action itself. The ancient rishis understood human psychology at an absolute mastery level.
So what should you actually take away from all this? Here are the highly practical life lessons we can all extract and apply from verses 14 and 15 today. First, observe your impulses without immediately acting on them. Don't let those horses run wild. Second, focus on the quality of your work, not the external reward. That is active detachment. Third, treat your daily duties as a larger offering. You'll be amazed at how much this drastically reduces personal anxiety. And finally, use your own self-awareness as the reins to deliberately guide your attention. This is exactly how you navigate Maya.
I want to leave you with this deeply provocative question to ponder. Who is actually holding the reins of your mind today? Is it the wild horses of your senses just dragging you wherever they please? Or is it the skilled charioteer of your own awakened awareness? It's a choice we make in every single action. On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, we humbly request that if you found our presentation enlightening, please share this video widely so that authentic knowledge from Indian Vedic texts can reach the masses. Let us all come together to participate in this Gyan Yajna, offering of knowledge. Har Har Mahadev.